This is Natalia Hernandez, and if you're not familiar with who she is, I need you to reconsider the way that you're engaging with Book Talk. I've talked a lot about the way that the publishing industry and as a result bookish spaces ostracize indie authors. We are often stigmatized, our work is disrespected and treated like it's not as legitimate, and to be honest with you, people engage with us as if our careers are not as important. But authors like Natalia Hernandez are forcing them to take us seriously. Not only did she write 3 of Book Talk's favorite indie books of the last year, but she has been working behind the scene to help other authors to up their game and to make space for us in professional settings. She is not only an indie author who is keeping up with traditionally published authors who have entire teams behind them, but she's an advocate for the rest of us, which is one of the reasons that Book Talk loves her. But even outside of that, her books are just incredible. So I went and looked at her store today because I talked about one of her books last night and you guys have been buying it. And if we're counting her inventory for all 3 books, she has about 1,000 books in stock. And I think we should do something about that. Let me tell you about the books. This is The Namebearer and the sequel, The Follower of Flowers. This is a high-stakes but digestible Latin fantasy. It follows a girl who has been stripped of her entire identity as a baby so that she could become the royal Namebearer. For as long as anyone can remember, whenever a new monarch is born, a Namebearer has to go to the Flowers of Prophecy to retrieve that monarch's name. But when our Namebearer goes to the Flowers of Prophecy to get the king's name, she is told that there is actually someone else who is going to be the next king. On its surface, this book is about her journey to find the next king and to help him to take his throne. But it is about so much more. I've never encountered a book that did a better job of talking about the way that marginalized people are often stripped of our identity and forced to live in servitude of systems that are out to erase us. This book follows a young girl as she struggles and fights and wrestles with what it means to find an identity when you've been denied one for your entire life. How do you find a name that speaks for you when you've never been allowed to speak for yourself? And what does it mean to put your life on the line to fight for a kingdom that doesn't want you, but is still the only home you've ever known? This series has spoken to me in ways that very few other books have done. And in contrast to this more high-stakes fantasy story, she also wrote a series on the Amaro. This is a low-stakes, cozy romantasy. It follows a woman who was born with the rare ability to speak with animals. And after having spent her entire childhood being exploited by her father because of her gifts, she flees home and goes and searches for a new life for herself, where she meets a man that she not only finds appealing, but who also loves animals as deeply as she does, because he's a veterinarian. Like I said, this is low stakes, it is cute, it is cozy, it's a little bit spicy for those of you that are into that. And I rarely talk about books that have a larger romantic element, but I love this book. I'm going to post links right here for all 3 of the books that I just told you about, and I want you to go and buy them. Not only do I want to sell her out, but I want to see if we can do it in record time. Let's get it.